Mark Tversian wrote a book called Practice Made Perfect. I think that's the name of
Yeah.
it. He said niche practices tend to grow 3 times faster than general practices. So that was a really smart piece that you recognized early on, plus also the flexibility and the growth, the way that you can grow faster when you are in the independent space. So after you kind of figured that piece out, was there a specific moment that made you commit to really not just having a great like business, but more of or a great practice, but more of a great business that could be future proofed? And what would that entail?
Yeah. So several stops along the way. Let me give you a couple of key times. I think so. If I fast forward from 2000 to 2005, I was having a lot of success as an advisor. After finding my niche market in 2000, I got lucky. And in 2002, the company decided to lay off a lot of people. And my strategy was to help people and educate people before they're ready to retire and build pipelines. I think of like farming. You got to till the ground, you got to plant the seed, you got to hope the rain comes and the sun shines out enough that you get the harvest at the end of the season. And I had that approach. It's like, I'm not going after the money today. I'm really going to build out, a big pipeline. And then as I do that, I'm going to have a sustainable business. So I started working at it towards that angle. And like I said, I got lucky. So I didn't know this, but 2 years after picking my niche, they decided to downsize a lot of people. So I had my little legal pad and I was running around all the offices that I had connections with. And I was saying, tell me the date you're retiring. When are you retiring? When are you retiring? And it was just like all these people retiring all at the same time. So that year, 2 years into the business, I picked up $42 million. I thought, man, I'm in business. I'm in business now. I
Wow.
actually have a business. So I was excited about that. And then fast forward that a little bit, another 3 years, I was having a lot of success as advisors, and I was studying constantly, what am I going to be building in the future? I want to make sure I build it right. And I was always asking questions. And I was always trying to find out what's the best business model to build? Is it a 1099 model? Is it just associate with other advisors, share office space with them? What's the best way to grow and build, in this business? And in 2005, I said, I'm going to set up my own RIA. RAs are now becoming established. It was kind of a new thing back then. Most of your big producers were at wirehouses, but RAs were coming on the scene. And I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my own RA. And so I set up my own RA and had aspirations of really growing that RA. And I had to have a business strategy to grow it. So I came up with a 3-prong approach. And I didn't want to just rely on one engine to grow it. I wanted at least 3 engines to try to propel me into growing a big RA. So one, I knew that organic growth was important. And I said, I'm going to focus on organic growth. Some people are growing organically, some are not. I've got to come up with a very good strategy to grow organically. And I already have a niche market, so I think I could drill down on that. So that was one. Second, I'm looking around the industry and I go, people are doing M&A, and there's some people doing it very successfully. This is all in 2005, remember? And I thought, I want to be an early adopter and I want to figure out M&A. I don't know anything about M&A. I really do remember going to a conference and there were some big players in there and they were talking about the best tax strategies and this. And I thought, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't get it. They're talking about capital gains, which is ordinary income, and the best way to structure the deal. And I'm thinking, man, I don't know anything about this, but I learned very quickly. And so I started thinking about, I'm going to develop the M&A. And then third, I did think about trying to help other advisors in the industry. And I saw a lot of advisors working for broker dealers. Those seem to be like vendor relationships. And I thought about, is it possible that I could help advisors? They could join our RA. We could take care of some of their back office things that they didn't want to do. And so independent 1099 is a pipeline, and then M&A, and then organic growth. Those are my 3 engines. So that started taking, the RA started growing. So remember, that's 2005. And this is something I really want.
Ahead of your time, Rick, by the way. I remember 2005. There wasn't a lot of M&A activity going on.
There wasn't. And there wasn't the RAs really, a really large RA back then would be like 400 or 500 million, that
Mhm.
was like the biggest one around. It was really a big deal.